Travis Gillespie, and the last section, or we just talked about, was identifying misleading graphs, and now we're going to look at misleading statistics. In the world, we are faced with statistics every day, and it'd at least be good to know which ones could be misleading, or if you've actually been misled before because of a statistic. So a small business has 5 employees with the following salaries: $90,000 by the owner, he makes 90,000, 18,000, 22,000, 20, and 23,000 by all other employees. The owner places a help wanted ad, and it states the average salary is $34,000 or $34,600. Wow, $34,000 for a starting salary and $34,000 for an average salary. That's pretty good at a company. But let's ask, is $34,000 an actual accurate representation? And looking at the 5 numbers, sure, the average of these 5 numbers actually is $34,000. However, the owner represents a much higher value for his salary compared to everybody else. Everybody else is between $18,000 to $23,000. So I mean, if somebody did get hired there, it's unlikely that because everybody else is making about $20,000, it's unlikely a new hire would make more than that. So therefore, it's important to question. I'm just going to highlight the owner's salary here. It's important to question how the statistics were actually generated. And if you have a good understanding there, then you're off to a good start. Let's look at another problem. So companies typically, if they're going to get another product out to market, what they want to do is they usually do a market research on that product before it even goes out to market. So here's our second problem. A market research company, they randomly select 8 people to focus test 3 brands labeled A, B, and C. Of these, 4 chose brand A, 2 chose brand B, and 2 chose brand C. So it looks like that brand A, twice as many people chose brand A than either B or C. So this company sent out an ad that for brand A, it stated preferred 2 to 1 over leading brands. Therefore, that means, yeah, 2 to 1, that's double. So whoever in the market in the focus test, they were double for brand A compared to the other. They were twice as much. They chose brand A, so there were twice as many people who chose brand A than B or C. But here's the big question you need to ask yourself: does the sample size of this test, this focus test, actually? I'm going to highlight 8 people here. Should probably get a new color. But does the sample size here actually reflect an accurate representation of the population? So you've got to ask yourself, well, 8 people compared to what? A population could be a small town, it could be a city, a state, a country, and in these situations, there's various populations. Whereas, I mean, we're dealing with maybe a couple hundred to millions of people. So 8 people probably is not an accurate representation of the entire population. Therefore, this is also a misleading statistic. So let's take a look at one more here and get this one stat up. So this one's about coffee companies, and we're looking at the revenue that comes in over a 3-month period of time between both companies. Oh, okay, that'll work. I don't mind about the colors for now. But the total revenue at Starbucks for a 3-month period, and those 3 months are from June to September, was $72,000, their revenue. And the total revenue at Coffee Bean for the 3-month period from October to January was $108,000. So how could this be a misleading statement? Well, they're both accurate statements, Yeah, Starbucks did take in this much money over a 3 month period, and Coffee Bean did take in 100,000 over a 3 month period. But the question is, how's it misleading? Well, it's due to the time frame because under busy times of the season, revenues change, and during busy shopping seasons such as October to January, boy, I mean, we're talking about a lot of holidays here. Have Christmas in there. Yeah, the consumption or consumer spending typically increases during this time. Therefore, it would be more accurate to analyze both companies during the same 3 month period. Therefore, there are some things you want to ask yourself when looking at statistics. You want to ask yourself, what are the things you may not know within the statistics, and start asking questions based on the actual writing, whether it's sample size, the population, what you don't know about the sample size compared to the population. Uh, a better way of thinking about it is when you look at statistics and data, you should think about how the statistic is being generated and if in fact the conclusion is really correct given a particular situation. You have to question when you're looking at the data and ask questions about that data. And then the big thing here is the analysis that people present. Well, be careful. You, another way of saying is be careful when handling data and be even more careful when other people are handling data.